Hello, everyone. It's Kendrick from Providence Tarot. I apologize for getting these out late. I guess they're not late, but it's kind of like slowing down. As you know, Saturn and Pluto are my first house planets, and they are pretty much conjunct in my birth chart. They're like 3 or 4 degrees apart. And thank you for the like. And they're both retrograde now, so those are both my planets that are retrograde. Hi, Gemini rising. All right, so Mercury is in Leo at about 4 degrees. This card popped out for you guys. It gives me very much Pisces energy, or that energy of learning something. There's a process that's underway. There might have been something that was a little bit reckless, right? You were reckless with someone's emotions, or someone was reckless with your emotions, or maybe you just negated to consider how someone would respond to something that you probably did that was maybe a little juvenile, right? Or maybe someone said something that was juvenile, or maybe someone had a very juvenile way of dealing with something, right? Somebody probably has a few things to learn, right? It's also like someone that you aren't willing to tell too much to because you feel like they'll tell other people, maybe like that thing too. So I feel like you're practicing some restraint, right? With regard in who you allow yourself to submit to in a kind of way, but like willingly submit to, right? Because the pages are ruled by Saturn, and the pages willingly submit themselves to the lessons of Saturn. So, you may have submitted yourself to some situation or something that you allowed yourself to kind of open up to or become vulnerable to, and you may have learned your lesson, right? So you might be kind of like a little more aware now, right, of how you can be affected by, your external influences, right? This is kind of like, I feel like some of you are also even thinking about like people's auras, right? Because it's like there's the external and there's the internal, and then what's the in between, right? Very Neptunian, very, Jupiterian as well, because, consider Jupiter to be the ruler of Pisces, okay? So even anyway, this card is saying that you're dealing with your feelings about something. You might be feeling renewed in terms of a situation that you may have considered too much about, that you may have let affect you, too easily, right? Because you're mutable, and so is Pisces energy. This could be Cancer, right? And it could definitely be Scorpio. This could represent all three of those water signs, because the Mercury, your ruling planet, is going to go retrograde in all of those signs. So for you and Gemini, it really is talking about, and the likes, right? Sun, moon, and rising, okay? And whichever, if you have Sun in third house or Sun in sixth house, right? Because those are representative of Gemini and Virgo as well. But Mercury is going to be retrograde in all of the water signs this year. So, there's some things that are going to be redone. There's some redos. You're having to reconsider. You're having to reincarnate, a little bit, right? Your spirit and your soul. Just because, you're being tested in different ways that might be causing a strain on you emotionally at different points, so far throughout the year, right? But they're all a little bit different. The first one was debilitated in Pisces, right? And then the second one, right now, is going to be in Cancer. Okay, and Mercury in Cancer in the tarot is Three of Cups, which is talking about, environment, safety within environments, feeling safe within your environment, being able to celebrate yourself, right? Understanding what it is about you that you should nurture, right? What parts of your process, right? Your individual process that you should nurture, so that you can kind of like, allow those things to grow at the natural pace that they were meant to. You could be slowing some things down, right? And it needs to be done in a pace where you could be speeding something up. Something is also going to come in and change for you, right? It's going to bring your awareness to something. This is Mars, and Mars brings about change, and the Tower definitely brings about sudden changes that also bring realizations. You know what I mean? Because Saturn is like, it's oppression, but then it's also destruction, and it's also, action. You know what I mean? It could be like, something that had been building up over a period of time. Another page of pentacles. This is representative of another change that's going to be happening probably within work, or you could be moving, you know what I mean? Some of you might be celebrating a promotion, or some of you might be celebrating, more money, or you might be celebrating something of value that's coming into you that is going to help you, right? This is almost like helping supplement something or helping supply you with something. This is also even kind of like a gift from the universe that puts you in a process where you are going to learn and grow. Okay, and this is something that is going to be very functional in your life, right? It's going to be very practical as well. You're going to be able to, I hear surge, like resurgence or like a surge of something. Maybe it's a surge of money, or there might be a surge of energy that happens, right? Because it could be related to that tower that comes in, and then once the tower destroys the old, the new is going to be the opportunity or the change, the phase, the process that begins, that gets underway, for you to kind of like gradually build. Okay, here we go. Let me go ahead and shuffle it some more. So I'm going to do a spread with the right away for July. I'm just going to do two, you know what I mean? These are two readings that I'm going to do for July and August, okay? Virgo. Okay, so what does that mean? Mercury is retrograde in your 11th house of friendship. Is that where it is right now? I mean, yeah, because Cancer is like your 11th house of friendship, I believe. Let me go ahead and lay these out. Okay. I'm like putting them over here on the side. I don't know why I'm doing that. All right, so at the bottom of the deck, you got the Queen of Wands. So you could be dealing with, business endeavors, right? Like I said, that Page of Pentacles came up. And this has to do with, feeling confident and feeling able, feeling very capable as well. You know what I mean? There are some things that you're going to have to get done yourself that you can't rely on other people to do for you. You know what I mean? This isn't even like you're asking anyone for help. It's kind of like you're looking for where the possibilities are. You know what I mean? This is the Queen of Wands, and it is 2/3 Aries energy and 1/3 Pisces, actually. So this is kind of like a knowing for you in terms of like business and what you feel like you should be doing. It's almost not like you're not allowing the influence of others to sway you into what to do. It's almost like you intuitively know what to do impulsively, right? Instinctively. And it's kind of like you're also listening to your intuition in a sense, because this Queen of Wands card is very spiritual, because it's fire, and fire is the element, that's kind of like the weapon of the gods or something like that, I believe, in some scholars' eyes, right? Some theologians, but fire is very divine energy. You know what I mean? Because you can do a lot with it. You can destroy things, you can create things, you can change things with it. So it has the ability to actually, drive things forward. So you have the driving, you have the energy right now. You know what I mean? I feel like you're doing it from a place of genuineness, right? A genuine place. And then I feel like you also have other people backing you. They're kind of like watching you from the sidelines, and they're watching you kind of like take on these responsibilities. They're watching from it not too far. They're close to you, but they're watching you do it. I feel like you're not even letting your emotions get in the way too much, because you can't. Even though Mercury is retrograde, Mercury is actually in Leo right now. Okay, so it's actually in your 12th house. So there are some things that are being revealed to you. Okay, through the 12th house of Leo, right? You're picking up some things, right? And you're kind of figuring out like what it is that you're going to have to do, right? You're thinking about like where the adjustments are maybe going to have to be made, right? And you're kind of like asserting yourself in a way, because this could be also Leo energy, absolutely. 12th house energy. 12th house is ruled by Pisces, right? That's Pisces energy, and also Queen of Wands being cardinal fire. She's Aries. 2/3, and then she's 1/3 Pisces. So there you go. You got that 12th house energy, and this is Mercury here in this position, right, of Leo, 4 degrees, which is talking about structure, right? So you're thinking about the structures that you're probably going to have to, like, reclassify, maybe not reclassify, but like rebuild, right? Because some things are changing, some things have changed, right? And it's kind of like you wanting things to change, because the Queen of Wands does want things to change, and she's willing to make those things happen, right? It's kind of like I said, instinctively, right? It's kind of like not being reckless about it. It's being very calculated. You know what I mean? Because it is, we're talking about Mercury here, and that's your ruler. So when Mercury gets into Leo, you know what I mean? It's almost kind of like that's um that's the third house from the planet that it rules, right? But it is the fifth house from Aries. So if we go to third house, that's actually quite meaningful, because it is the third house, and Gemini rules the third house. So this is talking about, the way that you allow yourself to think, and how that drives you instinctively to make the choices that are critical for you at the time that you're making them. You know what I mean? Because then that is going to bring about, a domino effect, or, a flow of energy, and you understand that. So you're like, the principle is to set myself up now so that I can have those things in place when if things go wrong, you know what I mean? Or if I need to take from this box or take from this basket now because that one didn't work for me. You know what I mean? I feel like you're just kind of like going over, things, what to interest yourself in, what to involve yourself in, right? Because the Queen of Wands gets involved, right? For sure. So you might be getting involved in a new business venture, or there might be, you know what I mean? It might be something that you feel like you want to do on your own. You might want to bankroll something on your own. You see what I mean? All right, so let me go ahead and look. King of Swords, right here, bam, in the center of your reading. This is fixed air, and this is Aquarius. From you, Virgo, what house is that? Let me see. Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sag, Capricorn, Aquarius. That's the sixth house. Okay, so this is your sixth house, right? So this is talking about you taking responsibility to see where you need to perhaps rely on concepts that work, right? To see the changes, ironic, that you would like to see happen. Also, these are two people here as well. You know what I mean? I feel like someone might be wanting to um, give you some really good information or some really good advice. This person might be, wanting to give you some really good information or some really good advice, or they might just be interested in something that you have to offer, whatever kind of art you might be doing, or whatever kind of skill you might have, or how you may have done with one firm, or how you may have done with one job that you have had. You know what I mean? They might be interested in bringing you onto their team, some of you. If you are looking for a job, or if you have been interviewed for a job, or if there are some things that have yet to be revealed to you, right? Because we're talking about we're talking about Mercury being in your 12th house right now, Virgo, where it's actually debilitated, okay? But then we're also talking about what's going on in your sixth house, which Mercury rules, okay? Which is Aquarius for you. And Aquarius is talking about thinking outside the box. You might be a little fixed in the way that you want to do something. And that's why I was talking about like the different baskets and being able to pull from them if something doesn't work. You know what I mean? If a way of doing something doesn't work, or the way that you have been kind of like choosing to market or express whatever it is that you're trying to get people to see or understand or conceptualize, right? Um, Yeah, so it could definitely be somebody that wants to, it's, 'cause the King of Swords is authority, right? And the Queen of Wands is also authority, right? Like I said, she's not really interested in having anyone else tell her what or how to do something, you know what I mean? Because she herself is the one that is prompting the experience to happen. So she doesn't need someone to give their advice, but somebody could actually have some very beneficial advice, information, an idea. They could point you in a direction. You know what I mean? It might be even helpful or beneficial to you. You know what I mean? To kind of like, because the King of Swords energy added to the King of Wands is actually generating more energy and more power, right? More drive. You know what I mean? It's actually giving you more energy to catapult yourself in the direction that you want to go. But it's almost like you're trying to avoid something, or you might be looking in the wrong direction. You know what I mean? You might be instinctively looking in the wrong direction when you really need to look towards another source that might be available to you, right? And that is the King of Swords. It could be Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, but this here is talking about Aquarius. And Aquarius is, authoritative in a sense where it can allow you, it will give you the space to kind of, space figuratively, right? Um, Practically, like the real space, right? They might have a place for you to go and do your work, right? Like a studio, or there might be an institution that you can attach yourself to that you can work with, right? So then you're doing more of your work, but then you don't have to like bankroll or pay for the space that you use to do the work in, or the supplies that you get to do the work. You know what I mean? It might be something like that. Or it could be a client, right? Of importance, high importance, right? You might be having, that might be like kind of like a little upgrade to you. I feel like some of you guys are being a little bit too, your ego is getting the best of you, and I feel like there's an opportunity to involve yourself, you know, um, with another person that is on a high level of what they do, and they can actually help you in a very beneficial way. Okay, so the challenge, damn, man, you got a lot of court cards. How is this happening? Who are these people? You got the King of Wands. The King of Wands is now sort of looking, it's like, whoa, what's going on? Is this like a love affair or something going on here? The Queen of Wands is here, and she's looking off in the other direction, right? And then it's like the King of Swords is here in the center of the reading. And then challenging that, crossing that, the immediate influence is the King of Wands, which is fixed fire, and that's Leo energy. And that is your 12th house. So there's something hidden. There could be something hidden with a person here. There might be a part of this person that you don't know. And there could be, the King of Swords could be, you could be ignoring the fact that the King of Swords is telling you something about someone that you don't see, right? That they kind of like, the red flag has been like raised to them, like maybe even in their mind, their perception of this person is actually something that is real. And you may not be seeing it, and you may not actually be listening to what the person is sort of like prompting you to hear, so that you can then make the decision about this person that they're feeling challenged by, right? Or it could be vice versa. It could be you knowing something about this King of Wands person, and you are the King of Swords, and you're challenged by the fact that you know something about this person, and this King of Wands character here, that you know who this is, Sun, Moon, or Rising Fire sign, Aries, Leo, or Sag, is not paying attention to any of that, right? So now we're at a place where you might feel, you shouldn't feel responsible, because the King of Swords feels responsible. You shouldn't feel responsible for someone else's ignorance getting them into a bad situation, or someone else's ignorance getting them into a sticky situation. Or you shouldn't feel responsible to explain anything to the King of Wands on the Queen of Wands behalf, right? Which you might be doing. Because there was a tower that came up, right? And then the Page of Cups came up as well. So the Page of Cups is offering compassion to a situation, right? That might have come from the actual tower, right? Because when I was shuffling the deck, the Page of Cups fell out, and then the Tower was at the bottom. You know what I mean? I'm going to just go ahead and flip over the past card, and that's the Three of Wands. This is, the threes are talking about things sort of like repeating themselves. So there might have been something that was repeating itself in the past, right? That you were fully aware of, right? Because it's the fire, so it's related to the King of Wands and it's related to the Queen of Wands. And the threes are talking about multiplicity, things that can occur over and over again, recreating the same thing over and over again, right? It's a three, your third house. That's Leo, right? That's also a fire energy, right? And then we're talking about something that's hidden, right? That probably was happening over and over and over again. And then the threes are also talking about, comfort levels and feeling comfortable in an environment, feeling safe, right? Um, you might have been uncomfortable with a situation that had happened in the past that you had already seen. You might have even seen this happening with another situation that involved this person, this King of Wands, right? Um, this could be a couple, this could even be a married couple, or this could be a couple that's been together for a while, right? You might have some dirt, some information on someone, right? Because this is what? Sun in Aries. And Sun in Aries is very impulsive. It's talking about aggression, it's talking about sexual energy as well. But then this is also talking about, uh, prompting a response, right? Because the three is related to the Empress as well. And the Empress is Venus. It's Libra and it's Taurus. It's that energy of femininity, right? Femininity brought down to earth by priestess is divine femininity, and then the empress is like that feminine, that divine feminine energy that's brought down, that is manifest something complete, right, that we can see. Okay, and this is probably talking about a person, right, or people, right, that are real people, but we don't really know who they are. You see what I mean? And that might be something that you know about this person, and you might feel responsible to speak on it, King of Swords, to this person who kind of is in denial or kind of is just doing their own thing. You know what I mean? They're off. They may not even be like ignoring you or ignoring the situation. They might just be too busy on their shit. You know what I mean? And you're like, and I mean, it's not like they're like around when things are happening, or you may just know this information from a past experience. You know what I mean? Or you might just have heard from someone, or you just might know better. You know what I mean? It could be that. Um, Also, the three of wands could be talking about, information and communication about acting on something. It's almost like you might be waiting for communication back on, maybe you sent off some documentation, right? Because the third house is talking about communication and information as well. Um, so is the sixth house, but this is a three. Your third house is what? Scorpio. Oh, there we go. And Scorpio's talking about hidden things as well, right? That's also where the Mercury retrograde is going to be happening later. Okay, so this situation that you're dealing with these people might, come to a head. There might be a tower moment now, but then there also might be something related to it later in the fall. There might be more information that comes back. Because, like people say, or maybe that already happened, right? Maybe that already happened, where the information came back, and now what do we do with it? You know what I mean? Because the information out there, you put the action out there, right? And you're waiting for something to come back in regards to that, right? Because a lot of people say ships coming in, but it's like, what are the ships? What are they carrying? What's in them? Is it information? Is it candy? Is it Domino's? Pizza? What is it? But and there was also something that was created from this information coming in. It gave birth to another situation, and that might be the information that you feel like the other person should know that they don't know. Someone could have a child from the past because the third house is Gemini, and that kind of is children, right? The Empress is related to the three, and that's talking about multiplication and creation, right? Pregnancy. And then, the threes are, the Empress is pregnant, right? And this is talking about probably past, a child from the past, darling. And take that how it is. Maybe you could be with somebody that has a child from the past, so you don't know it. That's just for a particular group of some of you guys. In the Sun position, you got the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is Cancer energy, which is another court card. Okay, thank goodness the Three of Wands came up, because you have another court card. I only have four cards flipped over in the spread, and if we include the Queen of Wands, that would make five cards, right? And out of all five of those cards, the Queen of, four of them are court cards, Queens and Kings. So these are talking about people, okay? And it's talking about people that probably know each other. It's probably people that know more about each other than they should. And it's not, because it's unhealthy. It's just because, sometimes you find things out, especially when you're in a small town or even if you're in a big town and, a city like New York, people cross paths all the time. This could even have to do with like, this is something changing because the tower was kind of revealing itself and it's like, boom. This could be work. This could also be like just amongst friends, right? Because Mercury is in Leo right now, and Leo is the fifth house, and it rules. It's talking about family, but then it's talking about friendships as well. Because sometimes you make your friends your family, right? Aquarius is also friends, right? And that's your sixth house. We're talking about that. Mercury is related to that as well. So this could be talking about your friends, right? The group of friends, a tight knit, a group of friends that feels like family. So there's something going on here that's changing, and there might be some drama there because Mercury and Leo is also talking about drama as well. And as I talk more, I'm going to go ahead and flip over your moon placement, and you got the sun there. Eclipse energy, sun being in the moon position. So this eclipse is definitely going to reveal some things in the coming months for you guys, Virgo, in terms of like who you allow yourself to be around, because the situation that you're dealing with this group of friends may actually cause you to realize that there are some people that actually don't deserve to be amongst you, right? Or you shouldn't be amongst the people, right? Because I was talking about the external and the internal and the aura, right? You're going to be thinking about your aura being affected, your energy being affected by these people, meshing energies, blending energy. You know what I mean? You have to protect yourself from other people's energies and their auras as well. You have to protect your aura. You know what I mean? It's very important. However you do it, right? Cleansing, stones, crystals, meditation, whatever. Going outside in the clear air. But the sun and the moon position is talking about creativity. That's wonderful. The sun is bringing positive energy to this. So I feel like it's infusing energy back into you once all is said and done in regards to these dramatic situations that you're dealing with these people. So I'm going to go ahead and lay some cards out for you guys from the Oracle of the Radiant Sun, Domination, Mars in Sagittarius, Rebellion, Mars in Aquarius, Detachment, Venus in Aquarius, Intuition, Mercury in Cancer, Romance, Venus in Taurus, Publicity, Jupiter in Leo, Generosity, Saturn in Leo, Achievement, Sun in Capricorn, Protection, Moon in Aries. And at the bottom of this deck, you got Restlessness. So I'm going to put that to the side, and then I'm going to read those after I finish with the Rider-Waite. So the past is talking about the information coming in on some actions that probably happened that other people might not be informed about, but you're waiting to receive that because the threes are talking about, receptivity, okay, and waiting, okay, being open, right? Safety, also vulnerable to something. You're vulnerable to this information because you're kind of like allowing yourself to be present for it. It's like whatever happens from this depends, you know what I mean? It's like how you move forward or the completion or, sealing the deal, right, is dependent on whether or not the information that comes in is positive or negative. Okay, so, and presently you are dealing with the challenge of this person and knowing about some of their actions, right, in the past, or some of their current actions, or maybe something they did, right, recklessly, or maybe something that they said about something that they did, right, or something like that. Now, in the future, we got the Nine of Pentacles, and the Nine of Pentacles is talking about, that's related to the ninth house, which is ruled by Sagittarius, which is talking about philosophies, okay? Um, Also, it's talking about dignity. So I see in the future, like you still retaining you're maintaining your dignity about you. This is Venus in Virgo, and Venus is is it debilitated in Virgo or is it in its fall? It's exalted. Venus is exalted in Pisces, so she is in her fall in Virgo. But Venus being in Virgo is also talking about discrimination, right? And being able to decipher whether or not something is useful in your people, right? So this is kind of like, is this bringing about, how am I going to bring about balance and harmony that's meaningful in my life, right? And how am I going to create more out of that for myself? You know what I mean? How am I going to foster, you know, my fertility? It's also appreciating what you have, right? And appreciating your comfort levels and how you've set things up for yourself, right? And it's kind of like being unaffected by the drama of others, right? I'm getting that. And it's also, not allowing maybe like the needs of others that might go unwarranted, you know what I mean? Or just kind of like allowing yourself to be in the everyday drama of other people. It's kind of like going inward because, what matters to you most is really just kind of like your job, your skills, like what you're proud of, your dignity, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff. So you're not going to be involved with these people in the same way that you were in the past. You see what I'm saying? Um, because nines are also talking about, multiplicity and something happening over and over again, but it's coming full circle, right? So this is talking about coming full circle and having those moments and those realizations of really appreciating what it is that you've set up for yourself, right? Things that you can depend on, right? Because you're going to realize that you can't depend on certain things or certain people. Maybe people were too dependent upon you, and now you have to become more self reliant, right? And you have to like practice that because this is talking about habits, healthy habits that attribute to your contribute to your life. But it's kind of like, what are your healthy attributes? You know what I mean? It's kind of like you appreciating that more. You're giving more value to that. It's like that makes you feel secure. You know what I mean? You feel secure within yourself too, so you can rely on that. You don't have to, go off and do certain things that other people do, or even, believe in what other people believe in to feel comfort within yourself. Okay, because the nines are talking about philosophies and belief systems as well. Because Sagittarius is also talking about, your knowledge of where you come from and where you're going. So that's what is supporting you in the future, is understanding where you come from, what you've done, that which is valuable about you to other people into society, and letting that carry you forward, right? And you understanding, that, okay? It's not like anyone else is going to kind of like get in your way of understanding that about yourself, right? And I feel like this is also kind of like a loner, right? A loner kind of situation, because it is related to the hermit, and that's talking about, definitely not allowing yourself to get too um, involved in the drama of others. Virgo, I hope that you guys are not going to be upset with me, but I might have to make this a part one and do a part two. I wanted to do everything all together, but I do have to go to work later or like very soon. And I want to make sure that I don't lose sight of time while I'm going because I can do that sometimes. And I have a whole spread over here, and it might deserve more time than I would be able to give it if I do it right now. So it's beautiful. And I will do a part two. I love y'all, but we're not done. So let's look at what you're going into here. And this was a very interesting reading. I'm so glad that you have another one coming to you. You have the most views always, usually. So having two readings will be nice for you. And then I think I'm going to give Cancer a Lenormand reading as a bonus for their birthday season. But the energy that you have coming towards you, because this sun is here and it's crowning you as the Nine of Pentacles, right? That's wonderful. I'm just gonna say that. You know what I mean? Oh, some of you actually might even be thinking about getting a pet. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of like, why am I really why am I it's like why am I focusing on you people when I really need to be putting positive energy into a source that's going to appreciate it more? I need to get a dog or a cat or something, a fish. You know what I mean? For some of you, you might be thinking about getting a pet because the Queen of Cups is here in the Sun position, and that's talking about nurturing, right? Wanting to give, right? Wanting to give the love and receive the love, right? So a pet is going to do that no matter what. You know what I mean? And the Queen of Wands has a cat here in the photo at the bottom, okay? And then this one has a bird on her shoulder. You see what I mean? We're listening to Tommy Guerrero. Now, I Alexa'd him yesterday, and when it came up, it was like words and stuff. But I like this because it's kind of like acoustic guitar. It's like rock, but not soft. I don't know. I don't know what I would call it. World guitar. Page of Pentacles came up again, darling. Going back in. Okay, another chord card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chord cards out of 8. Okay. And one of them is the sun. That's the only major arcana card you got. So that's wonderful. The sun is bringing life back to you, right? And you're realizing what's important here in your spirit and your heart, right? You're like, well, I really do know who I am, right, inside, because the moon is talking about your personality, and it's talking about also, vulnerabilities, right? So you might be aware of where you might have become vulnerable in an experience or where you might have made yourself vulnerable because you have the sun in the water placement here, which is the moon, right? You have the sun in the moon position, and that's a conjunction. That's talking about eclipsing. So there's something being revealed to you here because, like I said, the Queen of Wands is Aries and 1/3 Pisces. Pisces is the 12th house that's talking about blockages, things being revealed. Your ruling planet, Mercury, is in your 12th house right now at 4 degrees of Leo. And that's your 12th house of, psychic energy and revealing things to yourself. And Neptune rules that. Neptune is in Pisces right now, okay? Neptune is in the place where it belongs, in Pisces, okay? Which is the 7th house. So it's relationships, things being revealed in relationships, things becoming foggy in relationships, then being revealed in relationship. You know what I mean? It's like that type of thing. But that's sometimes they don't use Neptune like that in such a dense way as they do like the inner planets. But collectively, we are realizing how we are all connected, right, on Earth, right, as humans, right. So we also have to show we all have to show compassion towards each other as human beings. You know what I mean? And that's how Neptune is sort of like getting us to see, how it is that we do show compassion for ourselves and each other, right? Because no one is perfect, right? That Pisces energy is talking about inconsistencies, and you have to be aware of your own inconsistencies, right? Because you have to understand that you're not perfect, right? Because, to help and then to be helped, that's kind of like giving and then giving back. That's showing compassion. And And that's why, it's opposite of you, Virgo. Because if you offer your help or you offer your assistance or you offer your time and you do something, then, other people are going to then, be able to pass that on or do something. But it's gradual, right? So, the Page of Pentacles is saying that there's something to be received and there's something to be earned and there's something to be valued and there's something to be appreciated. This is an appreciation for everything that matters to you, that you brought upon yourself to have, right? And it's a relationship to this card as well. You see what I mean? And this is a step up from this card, right? This is an elevation, okay? And it's kind of like, this is telling me that, later, right? Because I'm looking at a diagonal here with these cards, and it's the Nine of Pentacles, the Sun, and the Page of Pentacles, right? And that's kind of like it's going up there to that point. So it's ascending. It's like bam, bam, bam. Yes. New ways of making money, new skill sets that bring about changes in how much money you bring in. There's kind of like a strong, dignified, earned person. Okay, youthful, right? Enthusiastic about expanding, enthusiastic about, you know, this new venture that has to do with finance, right? Business. And it's good. It's supported by the sun, you know. And if you may have tried to do some things with other people in the past that didn't work out for you, that's fine. You know, we have to crawl before we can walk, and we have to walk before we can run, and we have to run before we can jump. And we have to jump before we can fly. So, like I said, valor, dignity, it's here, honey. Shining bright. You know what I mean? So, you're going to get what you want. You might even be challenged by the sadness of some people, right? You might be challenged by these people, or you might just be affected by these people. And you might be needing to think of healthy ways to allow yourself to be unaffected by these people and focus on how you're going to get somewhere. Don't be keeping up with the Joneses now. I know y'all ain't doing that. Y'all be focused on y'all self. Okay, so I'm just going to leave this as a part one, and I'm going to resume later this evening with the Radiant Sun, okay? And these are beautiful cards. They remind me of frescoes. Virgo, I love you guys. Like the video. You're so supportive. I love you. I'm going to see if I even have time to take a shower before work, y'all. Happy eclipse, happy, Cancer season, solstice. We passed it, but we still in that energy. I'm doing specials, 20 minutes for $20, everybody. So if you'd like to get a reading with me, email providencetarotkendrick@gmail.com. I'm doing it now, and there's some spots now, yes. So yeah, email me. Follow me on Instagram, NYC Kendrick. I'm also Providence Tarot, of course. Kendrick NYC, and the Tongue Pop. If you're in New York City, which people have come to New York City to visit and have come and got readings, come to Shanti. It's at 230 East 14th Street between 2nd and 3rd Avenues, okay, in New York City, in the East Village near Union Square, around the NYU dorm area. And I read there from 12 to 4. In person, it's me. You'll see me. All right, you guys. Bye. Gotta go. I'll resume with the rest